So as I mentioned in the previous video, I've been using the great set of videos from the Fabricator series, or the Fabrication series, to try to figure out how to do this roll bar and to figure out how to do the basics like manually notch a tube without a tubing notcher. As good as his video is on notching tubes without a tubing notcher, it kind of wasn't clear on one point, and I was finding that my cuts were a little bit off, so I kind of did a little experiment, and what I found out was this. I won't recap a lot of the details because I'll link the video in this, but you start out by laying the tube across it, and in this case, the important point is that it's at a very steep angle because the effect is nil if it's at a 90, but if it's at a steep angle, the idea is that you kind of draw the throat line, which is basically just this line that sort of looks like if you transpose that back bar across. So it looks like this. And then you're supposed to draw the face line, which basically is perpendicular to this line, regardless of the way this tube is. So perpendicular to this line from the center of this line, meaning the highest point on the tube, the center of this tube, where it bisects this, this throat line. So right here, draw it perpendicular. And then he says to make a mark 1/3 of the tube diameter. Okay, got it. So 1/3 of the tube diameter up here. Let's just call it here. I'm just doing this for example. And then you basically draw a line from this point that you've marked down here. But here's where the question comes in. If you're at a steep angle, if you look straight down on the way the tube is sitting right now, the line that you draw from this point to we'll call it the horizon of this line and the horizon of this line is different than if you rotate the tube so that this new point is the top. So what I was originally doing, and what I don't think was very clear in the video that he had put on there, was I was originally looking straight down from the top here and taking this line from this point, which is past the tangent over here, and then drawing it straight down, and then doing the same on this side. And inevitably, my angles were off. I kept having one that was consistently off. And so what I said was, well, maybe it makes more sense that once you draw the face line or the throat line and the face line and get your line here, rotate the tube so that this point is now on the top of the tube. So in a 90, it wouldn't matter. It would just be the same. So, but on a steep angle, it matters. And so you drew it like this, and then now that you've established what your 1/3 is, you rotate the tube until this point is on top. Now draw your line. So I'll try to do this here. If I have it this way, and I have this point at the highest point, and I draw my line looking straight down as best as I can, my line goes here, and my line goes here. But if I rotate it so that that's on top, hopefully you'll see that now this line goes here, which is slightly off, but this line goes way the heck over here, which is a lot more off. And so this is what I was finding in my cuts, is my cuts were off slightly. And once I started rotating the tube so that this little intersection right here between the face line and my 1/3 measure was how I was drawing these two lines, everything seemed to come into alignment. So again, those videos are fantastic. I'll definitely link to it. But it kind of missed this one particular step, and a little bit of trial and error, I figured it out. So hopefully that's correct. Somebody can certainly correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what seems to work for me. Just thought I'd pass it on.